Hey everyone, Adam here. So last week's video we talked about self-awareness. So I want to take the time to just explain a mistake that I've made and just kind of walk through my thought process. So through self-awareness, I realized one of the major reasons why I consume things is because I am trying to problem solve or fix what I perceive as a problem. That's one of the main reasons why I personally consume a fair amount of stuff. In a future video, I'll dive deeper into this topic probably of why people may consume in general. But one of the main reasons for me is, like I said, I'm trying to fix problems. So a lot of times I will fall into the marketing hype where you look at a product, it's promised to fix this particular issue. And then I immediately say, yes, I can apply that. And I buy it without really thinking. And then I find out that it doesn't work out nearly as well as I thought it did. So one of my fixes in order to help curb this is, if I don't need the item right away, I really try to think about it. And I really try to think, is there other solutions? Is there a better solution? Do some research on it before making that purchase. So whenever I want to try to fix something, I do not immediately just click the buy button. So I may add it to my shopping cart or my wish list. Actually, I'll just add it to my wish list. And then I may think about it for a month before actually pulling the trigger. Now, of course, there is a downside to this approach. Sometimes it takes a lot of energy to purchase goods this way. I do like it as a whole because what I do find about it is that by the time I make that decision, I've researched it. It does take a tremendous amount of energy, but I'm finding I'm not consuming as much because it does take energy. So as I think through it, I'm like, do I really need or want this product? And if yes, I'm going to invest some time in order to look at this product. And then when I invest the time and I actually make the purchase, even if it doesn't pan out, I feel pretty comfortable with it not panning out because I was like, well, at that snapshot in time, I did tons of research on it. I thought it was going to be helpful. It's sad it didn't work out as well, but I'm kind of overall happier with that purchasing decision because I thought I gave a lot of thought into it. So let's walk through one of my not super recent mistakes, but a mistake in purchasing something that I thought was going to fix a problem. So this monstrosity right here was unfortunately a regrettable purchasing mistake. So what I'll do is I'll step through kind of my thought process and what kind of led me to make this purchasing mistake and kind of like what my new solution is. So if you've seen any of my really old videos on this channel, you will remember that I love single cup coffee. This is a pour over. It's just a ceramic cup coffee maker. If you want to call it a coffee maker, it's just a ceramic cup that allows you to do a pour over. And it makes a fantastic cup of coffee. It is great for a single cup of coffee. And as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, you can buy these things for like less than $10. So I live far away from friends and family. And essentially what ends up happening is whenever family comes to visit me, they end up staying at my place for a few days at the very least to make the whole trip worth it. And my family loves coffee. Probably not as much as me, but they love coffee too. So the problem with these pour overs is that it ends up taking probably, when you boil the water and pour everything over to do it properly, probably takes 7 minutes. And in the past, I just had this one pour over cup. And so you can imagine if I have it's just myself and my parents, there's 3 people, you're looking at, anywhere between 21 to maybe 28 minutes of brew time just to make 3 cups of coffee. And if everyone only has 1 cup of coffee, it's most people want at least 2 cups. So what would happen is I would start brewing early in the morning. And by the time I got to the third cup where I get my cup of coffee, I'm already brewing another batch, a second round for everyone. So it's like I'm utilizing this pour over like 6 times, and it would be like a 45-minute process. And as one can imagine, what would happen is you want to get going for your day. You don't want to spend 45 minutes making coffee. So I figured, without even thinking about it, I went to Wirecutter and I was like, you know what? I will just get a coffee maker. So lo and behold, I got the coffee maker you see in front of you. So what's the problem with it? Well, for one, the coffee doesn't taste nearly as good as a pour over. My brother-in-law immediately picked up on it when I made him a cup of coffee out of this thing. And yeah, I did fool around with the grinding, and I tried making the grinds a little bit smaller to extract maybe more of a coffee flavor out of it. But when you do that, then the whole thing overflows, and I could not get a grind that I could find in this coffee maker that produced a good cup of coffee compared to the pour over. Another major issue is 99.9% of the time, this monstrosity is in storage. I don't use it. Again, when it's just myself, I'm using the pour overs. So yeah, it's bulky. It's hard to clean. And all in all, I was finding it really wasn't a great solution for what I was looking to do. I was looking to speed up the brewing process of making coffee for guests, but I also wanted to do it with a decent cup of coffee. So now I have a new approach. So essentially what I did is I have my one pour over cup here. This is the one ceramic pour over that I've had. And then I have another one. So back around 2 years ago for Christmas, I asked for a new ceramic pour over because my other one broke for Christmas for my wife. And ironically, when she was wrapping the gift of this ceramic pour over, she actually dropped it, broke it. It's hard to tell on camera, but you can maybe see a line there. It was actually, it's basically super glued back together. So my wife and I, we decided to keep it. We super glued it. I'm not a big fan of using it all the time because it is super glued, and I'm afraid the steam is eventually going to wear the super glue, and if it cracks, this whole thing is basically going to probably spill coffee everywhere. So, you know, it's not great. However, the limited time that I do use it when people come over, it's great for that. And I can just kind of monitor the super glue and make sure that, you know, it's still kind of holding up together. So essentially what I've decided to do, it's less bulky, is I'm going to definitely use these 2 pour overs to make coffee. And this year I went camping with my son. We went car camping. And I love to have coffee in the morning, even when I'm camping. The challenge is I brought one of these ceramic coffee pour overs. But like I was really scared I was going to break it because, let's face it, I broke one a few years ago. My wife has already broken one wrapping up the Christmas gift. And just transporting it, I got really, really nervous. So I went on Amazon, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? The perfect solution is another one of these guys. So this is plastic. It was less than $10. And so what I'm going to do is when I go camping, I'm going to bring this when I go camping. But also it's a great solution. Now I basically have 3 pour overs. They don't take up that much space. All in all, the cost is actually less than what I paid for that coffee maker. And essentially, I can line up 3 coffee cups and brew them all at the same time, right? It's a perfect solution. And basically, if I'm brewing them all at the same time, it's just going to take about 7 minutes. So having these 3 pour overs is a much, much better solution than having that coffee maker, that bulky coffee maker monstrosity. So the question you may be wondering is, okay, you purchased that, didn't pan out. What are you going to do with it? Well, it works perfectly fine. I'm just going to donate it to a good cause and just kind of swallow my pride that, you know, I made a purchasing mistake. So there you have it. This was a purchasing mistake that I made thinking it would solve a problem. Didn't pan out nearly as well as I had hoped when I made the purchase, but that's okay. Admittedly, sometimes you don't know that it's not going to pan out until you make that purchase. And as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm just trying to give a lot more thought when I do make these purchases, I kind of think about it a lot more, and overall I find that I am much happier with my consumption, and I'm a little bit happier too with my mistakes because, as I said, I gave it my all as far as thinking through the entire process. So there you have it. Yeah, a recent mistake that I've made. So as always, I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.